Hi everyone. Before we get into the video proper, I just want to say that the Kendrick video is not happening. I thought I wanted to do it, but then I actually thought about writing it and I just don't care enough to do it. I think the album's a 10, but I just don't care to explain myself. If you don't see it, that's fine. It's an opinion. Who cares? On to the video. I love music recaps. I think they're a really useful thing when it comes to people who, I don't know, review music. It's nice to know what people listen to, and I like seeing these, so I figured I'll make one. Make a little recap of what I'm listening to lately. We're gonna start with singles because there's only two, and they're both for artists that I'm very much looking forward to in the near future. First of which is Lean Beef Patty by JPEGMAFIA and Danny Brown. This song is just hard, I think is the right word to use. The nightcore aesthetic of the beat, or the sample I should say, mixed with the chaotic glitchy nature of the beat, the production as a whole is stellar, and then the bars are hard. Both Danny and Peggy go insanely hard on this track, and if this is the energy and the vibe the full album is going to give, which from the previews I've heard seems to be the case, then yeah, this very easily can be album of the year. I have no doubt about that, and they'd have to, I don't know, they'd have to like lose some of the tracks and then like rush to remake them in order for this album to be bad. And even then, I don't think it would be bad because it's Peggy and Danny Brown. Come on now. Moving on. Panchiko, Failed at Maths. This is a nice little touch up to their original sound on death metal, in my opinion. It's not necessarily new, but it is a bit of a reinvention. A little like, I don't know, if I had to quantify it, I'd say like it's like 10% different. And that's a decent chunk, but nothing substantial enough to make me, I don't know, like turned off by it or anything like that. I like how it's a lot more blissful sounding, but the lyrics still contain that, what's the word I'm looking for? That melancholy, introspective feeling to it. I like the vocals. His vocals on this are actually really good. At first I was kind of iffy on it. I didn't know if I was a fan of like the auto tune, but no, it's just good. It's just good. I think the production's great, and I just hope we get more guitar work on the full album, which I assume we will. And then we have albums. I'll talk about the ones I've already talked about on the channel, and then I'll talk about some other ones. That way it's a little bit more, interesting. Starting off, we have Dogsbody, Model Actresses. Phenomenal album, one of the most unique pieces of music I've listened to in a long while, and I'm just happy it exists. I think the chaotic and yet elegant nature of it is such a nice juxtaposition to have, and just, yeah, I still don't understand the album. I don't know what it's about, and I still don't care. I still just like it, and I think that speaks volumes to just how good of an album it is, both lyrically, performance-wise, production, instrumentation, all of that. It's just that good that you do not need to know what the fuck is going on. And then for an album where you do know what's going on and it's very clear, Butcher House by Sematary. This album is literally just about a bunch of dudes in a house doing drugs and murdering people. That's like the entire album. Like that's literally it. And it's great. It's perfect for that exact thing. Like, it is the embodiment of that, and I have no notes. The production across the board, great. The fucking bars, phenomenal. The features, good. And yeah, I just hope that if Sematary is going to keep doing more or not mainstream, but more accessible stuff, if he's going to continue with things like Butcher House that are a bit more accessible to your typical rap fan, then I hope it stays in this particular like field, you know what I mean? He's really found I don't know, the good combo, the good mixture for it, and I just hope it stays there, because that means we'll get good albums that more people will listen to. Because I love Rainbow Bridge 3, but I cannot show that album to people because they'll be like, the fuck is this? But I can show people Butcher House. They might still say that, but they, it's a little bit more of a bop in that accessible way. And then albums I haven't talked about before. I've just been listening to these lately. And yeah. So starting off the list, we have Stratosphere by Duster. I love this album. This album is just nice and cozy and warm and fuzzy and yet very cold and desolate as well. I like the juxtaposition of the space travel moon shit to the seemingly relationship aspect of the narratives. I think it's a good dichotomy to have, and it makes the sound of the album make a lot more sense because the sound is so, I don't know, it's like it's trying to be it's like it's trying to tell you to be introspective, to be mellow, to be melancholy almost, and I think it works perfectly. Riffs are all insanely good. The drum work is great. The vocals, when you can hear them, are actually really good. And yeah, I just think good album, 10 out of 10 in my opinion. It's the definitive Duster album. If I'm going to show someone Duster, it's going to be Stratosphere, and I think it is one of the best albums I've listened to, and I love listening to it for that reason. Another album that I think is one of the best is God's Country by Chat Pile. I'm gonna be honest, if I make any review in the next 3 weeks, it's going to be this album because I have so much to say about it, and yet I don't know if I'm even qualified to do so. Even for a debut, this is, in my opinion, a masterpiece because the sound and the themes and the content of it is so layered and dark and grimy and just eviscerating. Like, it feels like it is trying to pull your flesh off, and I like that. I think that's a good thing. We need more music that pushes that kind of boundary, that pushes that kind of like, are these guys okay boundary. I feel like bands like that do exist in droves, but Chat Pile does it in a way that just grinds that gear real well, and I'm looking forward to their new stuff. I really hope whatever they end up coming out with is just more of this, more in every way. I want the songs to be longer. I want more lyrics. I want more instrumentation. I want new instrumentation. I want to see what they could do with some weird shit. Give them a xylophone. Get some fucking synths in there, guys. Do some wacky weird shit. And next we have Pigs x7, their new album. I'll put the name of all of them in the description, like all the things I've listed. I just don't remember the name of this album off the top of my head. It's something like Land of the Sleepers or something. And it's great. It's great. It's rock, stoner, metal, and it's just good. It makes me feel like I'm in the middle of a mosh pit, and my only objective is to punch bitches and break arms. And yeah, no. Good album. I love the I don't know if it's a full song that's the chanting leading into the next track, or it's like half of the one track and then the second half is the full song. I'm gonna be honest, every time I listen to this album, it's just I put it on and it plays. I don't check which song is which because to me, you just don't need to listen to it like that. Like, you can just listen to this as one big cohesive thing, very much like all the other albums I've just talked about. And you just don't need that delineation between tracks because they're all so good. But the one I was talking about with the chanting specifically, is by far my favorite. I love that it's such a build-up, and you don't really know where it's going the first time around because you're like, this is such a departure from what I've been listening to. And then it comes back in, the song comes in, and you're like, oh, fuck, that's where this has been going the whole time. And it's such a good payoff. Plus, the title track, not the title track, the opening track, something Hammer, phenomenal. But it makes me want to punch things. It really does. But in a good way, in a way of like, I'm energetic and I want to do things with that energy, not like anger punch things, you know? And yeah, I think that's it. That's all the new stuff I've been listening to. That's all the old stuff I've been listening to, and that's my recap. I will probably be doing a video in the next couple weeks. Like I said, if I do, it's going to be Chat Pile, and if I take any longer, fuck if I know. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. Please hit subscribe and the like button. I would like the algorithm to like me more than it does already.